Hello and welcome to Squidlight Studio. I wanted to talk today about a technique that I probably didn't invent, but shall we say I discovered when I was trying to get an electrical sound for a song that I was working on. I got a sample from some of the pylons near my job in South San Francisco. When pylons get nice and moist, they start crackling, and you get a cool electrical sound. This is it after it's cleaned up. So it wasn't originally this clean, but you can clean it up with a little filter action, and it sounds like this. If you're discerning, you can tell that's not quite static, that's electricity. So what I wanted to do is, I wanted to use this as part of a song, and not just for a percussive element. I already had an electrical percussive Jacob's ladder going for that sort of thing. So I wanted to use this to play melodically. So, the Spectraphon, there's a lot of different choices for this, but the Spectraphon was a good choice that I wanted to use. And let's just hear it in what's called spectral array mode, spectral amplitude oscillation mode, or whatever it's called, SAM mode. And this is just it going straight into the Spectraphon here. I'm going to be using both sides of the Spectraphon in this video. This is this left side over here. And it has kind of that characteristic Spectraphon growl. And of course, you can certainly use it's good, but it's not super electric. And I also wanted to play with, so I found out that when you're making spectral arrays, you can clock them. I mean, I always knew this, I just hadn't played with it as much. And so I wanted to clock it. I felt if you could clock it at an interesting rate based on the original sample, maybe that could get that extra electric crackle that I wanted. So we're gonna come over here and we're gonna actually zoom in on some of this stuff because, I know I couldn't see this if I was watching on YouTube. So let's see what we have going on here. So let's just take a little close up here. We have my mixer. This is more or less the raw sound after filtering. And again, this is spectral amplitude oscillation mode. I forgot what it's called, but SAM mode. And so how do you turn this into a cool way to clock your samples? So there's a lot of different ways you could do this. Ultimately, I decided that using pulse width modulation would be fun, and since it's an audio rate, that actually kind of fit with the sample size that I have, which is about 10 seconds or so. It's looping here, so that's why you never hear it break up, but it's about 10 seconds of sample. And so what are we going to do to get it to a nice pulse width modulation? So we probably want to tame it a little. So this is coming out here to this channel of maths on the right, and that's being used as an envelope follower. And then we're feeding that into, we're feeding that into the pulse width modulation of the Mini Brute 2. And then we have that coming out, it's bifurcated. One of them is out to this math channel that we're actually going to use to get our clock. And then the other is coming out into here. So just by itself, you can hear So it does kind of have a little electrical quality too. This is just the square wave too. There's no filter or anything on that. So it already has kind of a fun characteristic. If I had more time or more need of this instrument right now, that'd be a fun one to play with by itself. But I really want to just use that to clock the Spectraphon. So what I did is, and for envelope following, you kind of just tune it to taste. I'm just going to leave it how it is because I'm cheating and I'm using results that I already got. But let's see. So it's a logarithm. I think I might have used an exponential in my actual recording, but right now it's a logarithm. With a very short rise and a very short fall. You can tune it however you want. Basically tune it to sound electrical or something. We're going to go with that one. And then if you come over here, of course my oscilloscope goes off as soon as I try to use it. But over here, I could have used Miso, which is a module I just got from TipTop. But instead, I'm going to use 2 channels of maths here. Abuse them a bit. And so this channel over here, that's just an offset. And then this is the clock pulse. And I was very nerdy and had to break up my oscilloscope to make sure the voltage range is where I wanted it to be. And with that, we come out from here into the clock of the Spectraphon, and we're ready to sample. Let's see if I can set this up in a sane place where you can see all of this without too much trouble. And let's see, so to sample, it's not really sampling. To record spectra, you hold the shift button, and just to show you first, this is again, that's the SAM, and then we're going to make an array. So you hold that, you press that, and you wait until it stops blinking, which should be 1,024 samples. Again, I'm not guaranteeing that every clock hits perfectly, but you could see from the oscilloscope that clocks were going well enough. And as soon as it's off, that means you have your samples. And then we're going to go from SAM to SAO. It sounds very different, doesn't it? So this is SAO, SAM, and a little bit of the original sound in. So if you wanted to make a really cool sort of instrument, that might be where you start. And just for fun, the other thing that I realized kind of when I was at this point in the experiment is I have a lock-in amplifier called the Collide 4. And I wasn't using that at all, and that could also be used to clean up this signal and hopefully make it a little electrical characteristic. And I'm not going to go through this thoroughly, but this is just kind of one sort of crackling process using the Collide 4. hope you enjoy. And I hope you like this technique and use it in your own music. It doesn't have to be electricity. That's just what I was aiming for this time. Thank you a bunch from Squid Light Studio.